Hey guys, KillStone here, and in today's video, I'll be showing you all the best controller settings for Apex Legends that you all should use if you're playing on controller. Now before we get right into the video, if you're new, subscribe and click on that bell icon, and if you did enjoy this video, then leave a like. Now to be honest with you guys, there's really no best settings for everyone. Everyone is different. Doesn't mean that what the best pro Apex Legends player uses, you too should use. All of these settings that I'll be showing you all guys is to set you all on the right path to find your perfect settings. When I'm done giving out the best settings you can have for this game, you can adjust some settings to better suit your pace and aiming. This video will be split in half. The first half will be how to have the best settings and button configuration to play without claw, and the other half is how to have the best settings to play with claw. Timestamps will be shown on screen now, so skip over to where I'll be starting with each of the halves. If you don't know claw yet guys, claw is a technique where you use your right index finger to press the face buttons on the right side of your controller. This is actually helpful as it enables you to jump while still keeping track of the enemy that you are shooting at. Common maneuvers for claw are jump shots and strafe jumps. Okay guys, now I will show you my button configuration of how I jump without lifting my right thumb from the right stick. This will make my left stick as my jump, right stick as crouch and sliding, and circle as melee. Follow me closely guys. If you don't like playing claw, then use this button configuration. It will greatly help you a lot in your gunfights if you want to jump shot while still keeping aim of the enemies. Now I'll show you all my settings. Okay guys, welcome to my settings. This is my settings. My interact prompt style is default. Button hints on, W shield icon. For crosshair damage feedback, damage numbers both, ping opacity is default, obituaries is off, incoming feedback is 3D, streamer mode off, colorblind is off because I'm not colorblind, subtitles on so I can see what the characters are talking about. Yeah. Now let's go to the controller settings. This is the This is the controller settings. This is my button layout. So I swap my tactical ability. I swap L2 and R2 for L1 and R1. So I just press squared. And my controller presets is default. It's not bumper jumper, any of these things. It's just default. And my stick layout is default also. Interact, reload, just tap to use and reload. This is very useful guys. So do that. Tap to use and reload. Toggle. Yeah, choose this one. Crouch button is toggle, aim button is hold, dead zones is over here, default. My sensitivity is 5 when I'm moving around, and when I'm aiming is 4 high. I suggest you guys use lower sensitivities because like pro FPS console players, like those in Call of Duty, they use lower sensitivity. So yeah, just it's recommended to use lower sensitivity if you want to get good. Response curve is steady. Now what this does is it kind of influences your aim. Like this is high velocity means it's raw. Like the when you move the stick, it will like move the aim in the screen. Just the degree of how you move the stick, it will be the same in the screen. Classic is if you play Titanfall, this will be the aim, like how it feels like to aim in Apex Legends if you play Titanfall. I suggest playing steady if you like been playing FPS console shooters like Call of Duty. Those look, dead zone is small. This one is for your R3 sticks. Like do large if your R3 is having aim sway. Like when you're not even using the R3, your character like looks around. So this will prevent aim sway. So put it on large. I have a bit of aim sway, so I put it on small. Movement dead zone is small. This is for your L3 stick. This is for your R3. This is for L3. Put it on large if your L3 stick is like having move sway. Also, like if you're not moving the L3 stick and your character is moving, then put it on large. Inverter look is off. If you play on in inverter, that's quite amazing. Vibration is off. This is important because if you're like suddenly, if you're shooting at someone, then your controller is like vibrating, it will put your aim off, so it's very bad. Advanced look controls. Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, I don't mess around with any of these, I just leave it on default. Now for video, brightness, field of view 100. I don't use what's the maximum field of view here? I don't use 110 because like when there's action in the screen, it will cause me lag. Like I have a PS4 Slim, so it's not a good hardware to run when your field of view is all the way to the max, because it will lag. But you can just test it out. You can go max, and if you experience like your game is lagging, then turn this down. Sprint view shake is normal. Yep, I just leave this. I just leave this on default. Yeah, guys, that's my settings. Okay, guys, now I will show you all the best settings you can have here if you're playing Claw. Gameplay, interact prompt style default. Button hits on. Crosshair damage feedback X with shield icon. Damage numbers both. Opening ping capacity is default. Obituary is off. Incoming damage feedback 3D. Streamer mode off. These other things is the default. I left it on default. Now the most important part of this part is the controller settings, guys. This is the most important part if you're playing Claw. Go to button layout, change from default, go to button puncher, and swap your L2 and R2 for R1 and R1. What this does is if you're using R1 as your firing button, is more responsive than using your R2 triggers, because for your R2 triggers there's a dead zone in it. So when you use R1, it's more responsive. This is better if you're using semi-automatic pistol, so it will fire much faster, rather than using R2 as your fire button. Now for button puncher, this will allow you to switch your melee and R3 together. So you melee with circle and you crouch with R3, the right stick. That's the most important part, guys. Now the other parts is up to you. It's based on your personal experience. Stick layout default. Tap to use and reload is helpful. Crouch button is toggle. Aim button is hold. I leave this on default. Sensitivity is up to you. Just experience it out. Go to training mode and find out your best sensitivity for aiming. Response curve is steady. This is like what most common FPS console shooters use, steady. Look, dead zone is small. If you have a huge aim sway, guys, use. Oops, sorry. If you have a huge aim sway, use large. Like if you're not using the right stick, then your aim is like going around, then use large. If not, you can use none. But I have some aim sway, so I use small. Movement dead zone is when your left stick, your movement stick is moving around. When you're not even using the left stick, your character moves. Put this on large. But if not, put it on small. Inverted look is off. If you play inverted, then it's very amazing. Vibration is off. Cause if you on vibration, it's not good because it will mess up with your aiming. Field of view 100. I don't use max as it will cause me to lag, because there's more things to render in the screen if you use max. Screen view shake normal. Audio is default. I didn't even touch this part. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, and I'll see you all on the next one. It's on 40 in my right car. Business change.